Coming up on The Sharp Reality, I talk about why hot girls are completely useless. I'm also going to talk about why your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend really tries to get back with you. Plus, I address more haters. TSR Live starts right now.
Previously on TSR Live.
She'll never tell you that she had a one-night stand with her boss, or that she went home with some dude from the club and forgot to take the morning after pill after she let him raw dog her all night. She'll never tell you that her boyfriend or husband found out that she was fucking multiple dudes for over a year and wasn't sure if all of his children were biologically his, so he left her ass. She'll never tell you that. She'll never tell you that she decided to divorce rape him after she started fucking her personal trainer at the gym. No, it is always the very worst case scenario, and she bears no responsibility or accountability for her single motherhood.
And now your man, Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of TSR Live. This is going to be the first official edition of TSR Live. I'm going to air this bad boy weekdays at 5 o'clock Eastern. I'm a little bit late because some idiot in our apartment tower decided to start cooking, started burning shit, and their fire alarm went off, and there was noise in the background. There's smoke in the hallways. I go out there, I knock on the door, they answer the door. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Apparently they called maintenance, everything's fine, but crisis averted. At any rate, today, like I said, is the first official edition of TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. It's going to be weekdays at 5 o'clock p.m. That's going to be 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Pacific. You can also, you guys all know where to follow me on Twitter, at Donovan_Sharp. So let's go ahead and get right to it here. Most of us who are sports fans or are of a certain age remember the phenomenon that was Michael Vick. We all remember, for my money, Michael Vick is easily probably the most electrifying college football player I ever saw. I know a lot of people will probably point out guys like Barry Sanders. Eric Dickerson was unbelievable at SMU. Of course, there was Tim Tebow, but it was more the hype surrounding him. But I have never seen a college football player quite as electrifying, quite as athletic as Michael Vick. Guys, he was awesome. He was unstoppable. He was hurt a lot, but as a freshman, he took his Virginia Tech team all the way to the national championship game where they lost to Florida State. I think it was the Sugar Bowl, but that was the de facto national championship game. And if my memory serves me, and it usually does, I think two of the Florida State safeties ended up tearing their ACLs and ended their careers or whatever trying to chase him down. Anyway, Michael Vick, like I said, he's one of the greatest college football players ever. And then, of course, he becomes the number one overall pick of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, all through Michael Vick's high school career and all through his college career, he relied mainly on his athleticism. And that worked very, very well. And when he was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons a year later, that worked well for him as well. But as defensive coordinators began to study tape on him, they began to see what he did right, what he did wrong, his strengths, his weaknesses, as all defensive coordinators do. What they did a lot of times is they would stack the box against him. In other words, they said, Michael Vick, we know you can run. You're the fastest guy on the field at all times, but you're going to have to beat us through the air. In other words, you're going to have to show us that you can read defenses, make reads, and hit receivers in stride, throw receivers open, etc., etc. Well, unfortunately for Vick, he never learned that skill. And the reason he never learned that skill is because he never had to. You think about this. All through high school, Michael Vick did exactly what it is he wanted to do. He ran all over defenses. If somebody was open, yeah, he'd hit him. If they were wide open, he would hit him. And again, Vick he's an exceptional athlete, but he never learned to read defenses in high school because he didn't have to. Well, in college, same deal. Never had to read defenses. He relied purely on his athleticism. He gets to the NFL, and he's wildly successful for the first few years, but then he sort of hit a wall. The pinnacle of his NFL career was with the Atlanta Falcons back in 2004, when he led the Falcons to the NFC title game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles absolutely demolished the Falcons because they figured out what the rest of the NFL knew. That was that Michael Vick was a superior, exceptional athlete, but he didn't know how to read defenses. He probably had the best arm in the league, and he probably had the best arm in the NFL for a good 5-6 years, and he could still fling it. But he didn't learn how to read defenses. And the reason he didn't learn how to read defenses is because he didn't have to. So we all know about the dogfighting incident. He comes out, my Philadelphia Eagles, we get him. He takes us on a magic carpet ride in 2010. We lose to the Packers in the playoffs, but Michael Vick still had not really learned to read defenses. He was older and he was more mature and he was a veteran and he learned a little bit about the NFL game, pocket passing and this and that and the other, but he didn't run as much. And the reason he didn't run as much is because he was older. Yeah, he was still fast and yeah, he was still athletic, but he was not the Michael Vick at Virginia Tech or the Atlanta Falcons. How this relates to hot girls is that hot girls don't develop themselves outside of sex because they don't have to. Everything is easy for hot girls. And a lot of you out there might be thinking, well, Donovan, you're using hyperbole. Nah, I'm here to tell you. Life for super attractive women is, in the United States and in the Western Hemisphere, it is fantastic. The girl on your screen right now, I can guarantee you she probably hasn't bought a drink in her life. She probably has never bought a drink or a pack of cigarettes. She's probably never paid for drugs. I don't know. She kind of looks high. She looks like she's high on cocaine. Whatever she's high on, I can promise you that she didn't pay for. And the reason why she doesn't have to pay for these things is because she's hot. Everything, hot girls get attention, okay? They get boyfriends, they get they get all. Listen, I know a shitload of strippers down in Vegas who are all, guys, they are all hard 10s. Great tits, a lot of them fake, perfect asses, flat stomach, long legs, pretty faces, you name it. They are all in their sexual prime. They're all in most of them in their early to mid 20s. Listen, these women could have any man they want. Okay, these girls get rich men wanting to marry them. They come to these girls, marry me. I will move you to another country. You'll live in a castle. You'll never want for anything in your life, despite them not being good at anything but shaking their asses on stage. That's the power of female beauty. Now, decent-looking girls, on the other hand, they have to develop themselves outside of sex. Decent-looking girls like this one, okay, yeah, she looks okay. Okay, I don't know, I'd probably put her at a 6, maybe a 7. But I can promise you that the girl on your screen probably cooks a hell of a lot better than this chick, okay? The girl on your screen right now, all right, she's had to pay for a few drinks. This girl has never had to pay for a drink in her life. The girl on this screen would treat you infinitely better than this chick right here. And the reason why hot girls don't have to treat men well is because they don't have to. If a man has the balls to say, you know what, bitch, fuck you, I'm not taking this anymore, you know what? She's just going to shrug her shoulders and look in her phone and look at the other 200 numbers that she has in there. And she will replace you. Women who look like this, okay, do not have the skill and agency of women who look like that. All right. Like I said, it is a female beauty thing. And to relate this to sports, let's go to Tom Brady. Tom Brady listen, I'm not going to sit here and debate anything, all right? The numbers speak for themselves. I'm not going to make this a sports debate, but Tom Brady's one of the greatest quarterbacks in history, if not the greatest. But guess what? Go back and look at his combine tape. Tom Brady was pasty. He didn't have any muscle. He was unathletic. He was slow. He had to develop himself, all right? He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest, but he has the will. And this was because he was overlooked time and again and in college. He played behind Drew Henson. He was passed over in college, passed over in the NFL, drafted in the 6th round. What did he end up doing? He used that fuel and desire to become the greatest quarterback ever. Well, girls that aren't so hot, they have to have the same fire. They have to figure it out. They have to say to themselves, okay, I was not blessed by the genetic gods, but I can get my ass in the gym, I can get my ass in shape, I can learn to cook, I can be feminine, I can find and hopefully lock down a quality guy who wants more in a woman than physical beauty. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? A woman like this, yeah, she absolutely looks good. There's no doubt about it, but we all really want women who look like this, all right? But this girl has a lot more agency than this girl. Okay, this girl is definitely hot, all right? But she's probably not as good between the sheets as this chick. This chick has to work a little bit harder to please her men. All this chick has to do, all this chick has to be is there. She takes off her clothes and the guy's already blowing his load all over her face. This girl's got to work a little harder, okay? This girl's got to give you a toe curling blowjob. She's got to give you that after sex sandwich, all right? She has to work much harder than this girl because this girl's beautiful. Let's call it what it is, guys. Beauty is... People like to talk about the fact that, all you men care about is the way a woman looks. Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't necessarily mean that we don't care about everything else, but if you are not attractive, we are not interested. I've said it before. You could be the brainiest, and even if you're a brainy chick, even if you're a quote unquote smart woman, it doesn't really matter. But you could have the greatest personality, you could have a great job, you could be the most sincere, feminine, kind, selfless, generous woman out there, and we may love to spend time with you. But if we are not attracted to you, we're never going to find out what those personality traits are. We'll put you in the friend zone. We are not trying to fuck you. That's the power of female beauty. That is all there is to it. So when it comes down to it, men who are new to game, yeah, you want to fuck girls who look like this, all right? But in the end, you'll probably end up with a girl who looks like this right here, all right? Yes, we can fuck plenty of these girls, but you have to understand, these girls are not going to offer you much. They're not going to offer you much in a relationship outside of the way they look. And most of the time, they don't even fuck that well. Listen, guys, I've been with plenty of beautiful women, and I've had great sex with a lot of beautiful women. But 7s and 8s, they fuck better than 9s and 10s. 6s and 7s fuck better than 7s and 8s. That's just the way of the world. Women only do what they are required to do. If a woman is not required to develop herself outside of her sexual allure, she's not going to. If she's getting everything she could ever want and need anytime she wants just by showing up because of the way she looks, there is no logical reason for her to develop herself outside of sex. That's all there is to it. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. I am now back on. I'm now back on Facebook. If you guys want to email the show, if you guys want to drop me your thoughts, if you guys personal stories you'd like to share, questions, comments, etc., you can send them to the hashtag TSR Live with Donovan Sharp, or you can go to my website, thesharpreality.com. Go to the contact tab, drop me your thoughts there. I mentioned it earlier. You can go to Facebook, just do a search for TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. I'm going to start adding some more content. I'm going to start doing some more content. I've got some things in the works. I'm not 100% certain on what I want to put on Facebook and what I want to put on YouTube, but there's going to be content that's going to be specific to Facebook, and then there's going to be content that, of course, is specific to YouTube. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I am now on Instagram. Just do a search for Donovan Sharp. The username is the Sharp Reality. All right, let's take a look in chat and see. Let's see who's in the house. Bute Samaj. Let's see, one of my exes is hit me up all of a sudden. Yeah, Samaj, we'll definitely get to that. That's going to be a little bit later. And yeah, I'm going to talk about why your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife really, really wants to get back with you. CC, what's going on? Like to see you as always. Simply Deep 1985, what's going on? C Merch, Charles Merchant, man, my brother from another mother in the 702, what's going on? Edward Easterling said, you read my articles at Return of Kings. Outstanding. Thank you very much. Yeah, Cool Coley. Cool Coley says Virginia Tech Vic was crazy. Listen, guys, Virginia Tech Michael Vick, just go to YouTube, man, and Google Virginia Tech highlights Michael Vick. He was a man among boys. He was Superman. He was unbelievable. All right, very nice. Silent Lord says, just subscribe to the channel and got a lot more content to catch up on. Yeah, man, I've got 106 now episodes, but right now I think I've got like 140 something videos at that point. Let's see. All right, Vic was definitely Vic, like I said, Vic was definitely the hot girl. He never had to read defenses because he was never required to. So, you guys know that I'm a big time sports fan, and I know not everybody's a sports fan, but sports and women go hand in hand in a lot of different ways. So Logic wins, my man. What's going on? Good to see you in here. All right, excellent. All right, well, it is good to have you guys in today. Like I said, this is the first official TSR Live with Donovan Sharp here on the Sharp Reality on my YouTube channel. All right, let's go ahead and get to the next segment. This next segment is called "You Still Think NAWALT." What I'm going to do here, guys, and this is going to be a weekly segment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out an article or a blog or a post, and I'm going to take it from the Huffington Post or Jezebel or those ridiculous sluts over at Red Pill Women, 2X chromosomes. A lot of guys out there, including some of my listeners and some of my viewers, you guys are still holding out the idea of not all women are like that. And what I intend to do with this particular segment is to show you how nefarious, how slutty, how conniving women really are. Because women are truthful. Women aren't truthful most of the time, but they're truthful online, especially under the guise of anonymity. So without further ado, here is You Still Think NAWALT.
My sex number doesn't matter.
Should I get another abortion?
Previously on TSR Live.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let's try that again. Here we go.
My sex number doesn't matter.
Should I get another abortion?
Yeah, I cheated on him, but it was totally his fault. How can I get him to trust me after I cheated on him? Again, I don't even know who the father is.
That's how bitches be, man. All right, well, today's You Still Think NAWALT's article comes to us from 2X chromosomes. Now, for those of you watching, you can see it on your screen, but for those of you listening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this short post, and then I'm going to give you the red pill breakdown on what's really going on. So this one here was submitted, actually, it looks like it was submitted 3 years ago by Rad Benjamin. The title is "Kicked My Ex Out of My Apartment Tonight." She says, quote, "He came over," talking about her ex, and in parentheses, it says, "I know he shouldn't even know where I live, but I'm a slow learner. And started telling me how much he missed me, loved me, blah, 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 blah." She goes on to say, "This is the one who broke up with me when I was raped because I, quote, cheated on him. He kept yelling at me and he didn't believe it, and without raising my voice, I took his keys, wallet, phone off my table and told him to leave. I didn't yell. I didn't have to yell. I didn't cry. My voice didn't shake. I was just done with it. Done with him. Wanted him out. Of course, I called a friend, and I'm writing this from that friend's apartment just in case that ex comes back. But I stood up to him and I am okay. Feels good. I figured that if there was any place I could share it, it'd be here." Oh boy, where do we start? Well, let's go ahead and break this down Donovan Sharp style. The first thing she does, right out of the gate, is she shows her hand. So her ex-boyfriend, who treated her like shit, obviously, came over and started telling her how much he missed her. Blah, 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 blah. Now, maybe she fucked him, maybe he didn't. But she's leaving out a lot of different details. She says in the second paragraph, "This is the one who broke up with me because I was, when I was raped, when I cheated on him." Well, we all know that any woman who proclaims that she was raped is probably lying. And her boyfriend knew that she was probably lying. She went off and she fucked somebody and decided to blame it on rape and thought that he would buy the story. But because he didn't buy the story, he broke up with her. So he dumped her. Obviously, she said he kept yelling at me, and my guess is that there's more to the story, but she says she took his keys and wallet and told him to leave. Now, here's the thing. She says she didn't have to yell. She didn't cry. Her voice didn't shake. She says, "I was just done with it, done with him, and wanted him out." Now, there is only one reason and one reason only a woman will ever truly be completely finished with a guy. And that is, of course, if she is fucking another guy. So her next paragraph, she lets us know exactly what's up. She says, "Of course, I called a friend and I'm writing this from that friend's apartment." Now, guys, when a girl is telling you a story and she leaves out the sex of her friend, you can bet the fucking farm that it is a guy, and I'd be willing to bet my life on the fact that the friend's apartment that she's at is the guy that fucked her. It is so obvious because she says, "I'm writing it from that friend's apartment just in case that ex comes back, but I stood up to him and I am okay." Guys, this is what girls do on the regular. Anytime they tell a story about their ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, or whatever, they'll say, my ex-boyfriend came over and he busted out the window in my car. Okay, that may be true, but he may have found out that the kid that he thought was his that you had was not his. Like, guys, listen, there are a lot of crazy men out there, and a lot of us do a lot of stupid shit. There is no doubt about it. But men don't just decide to go crazy on women for no reason. One of the very few reasons men go ape shit on women is because of money, possessions, or sex. And in this day and age, it's usually about sex. Listen, she cheated on her boyfriend, he did the right thing, and he dumped her. She obviously groveled to get him back and says, all right, I'll probably use her as a side chick. He caught feelings for her again, maybe decided to forgive her, but by then she was already fucking the dude that she cheated on him with on the regular. But he's the bad guy, so she kicked him out of her apartment. And she was so scared that she's writing it from that friend's apartment. What's the over-under on the minutes that passed before she was sucking her, quote, friend's dick after she wrote this post? Unfucking believable, man. All bitches are like that, man. We all definitely should. Listen, we all know by now how women are. All right. Like I said before, I am now on Instagram. I haven't posted anything on Instagram yet at this point, but I'll probably. I'm gonna get my social media muscles going on there. Let's take a look and see what you guys are talking about in here. Let's see. Yeah, definitely branch swinging. You're goddamn right. Yep. Silent Lord says nothing like a thick Asian. Well, I don't think I've ever seen the only thick Asian women I've ever seen, Silent Lord, have been fat ones, and I'm not trying to fuck fat chicks, so that's how that goes. Yep. Samaj says branch swinging. Yeah, this is what girls do. Girls always branch swing in any and all situation. Okay, very good, excellent. Okay, well, I want to get to an email that I got from a. From a listener, and I've changed his name, just to keep his identity, just to keep his identity, separate from all this stuff. And this leads me to my next topic, which is the real reasons your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend tries to get back with you. So he writes and he says, "Hi, Donovan." He said, "My name is Dennis. I just started listening to your podcast and it's great." He says, "But I have a question. My ex-wife has started to contact me and we have been hanging out. I guess I wanted to know her intentions with me. We haven't had sex and she hasn't showed me any obvious signs that she wanted to go that route. Should I make an attempt to have sex with her or should I just leave it alone?" Well, at that point, I sent a response. I asked him how long they'd been physically separated. He responded. He said, "Well, we've been physically separated since 2009. We tried to get back together in 2012, but it didn't work out. We talked every now and then until recently we started hanging out again and talking more. I just want to know what her intentions are with me." Well, Dennis, I told you to listen so that you can get the response. And listen, man, I'm gonna offer you the truth here. You're not gonna like what you hear, but this is why you're here. So let's go ahead and get to this. Dennis, your ex-wife does not love you. She doesn't love you. The reason she is reaching out to you, as do all ex-girlfriends and wives, is to keep you on the back burner or keep her in orbit, or maybe she's gone through a bad breakup, which I'll get to here in just a second. When you guys separated in 2009, she was fucking other dudes, all right? Again, I'd bet the farm on it because this is what all women do, and there are no exceptions. She reached out to you in 2012 because she probably went through a bad breakup and needed a familiar face to help her through it. Again, women do this all the time. They break up with a guy or they leave their husband or whatever. They ride the cock carousel for a little while. And when a guy she actually likes breaks her little heart, she'll end up back with her ex, but only after she realizes that it's really over with the other guy, meaning she probably fucked him a few times to try to get him back, and then realized he was just using her for sex, or he moved on. Either way, she's not getting back with you because she really wants to get back with you. She's getting back with you because she really knows it's over. Well, that's where you came into the picture back in 2012. Only when she knew that the dude or dude she was fucking weren't an option anymore, she reached out to you. As soon as she felt good enough to get back on the cock carousel, she left. This is why things didn't, quote, work out. Now, she can say whatever she wants. I mean, and I wouldn't confront her with this information, but she can say whatever she wants. You can think whatever you want. This is what happens 95% of the time, Dennis. I'm here to tell you, I've seen it and I've experienced it. So now the same thing has happened here in 2017. You bailed her out emotionally and probably financially 5 years ago. If we're keeping it 100, if you're being honest, if we're keeping it real, yeah, you slid her a little bit of dough, and she's looking to pull that same trick. You asked me what her intentions are. Those are her intentions. All right. Regardless of what she tells you, she is not looking at you as a long-term option. You tried twice and it didn't work out either time. At this point, Dennis, you are merely a stopgap and a band-aid to help her get through another breakup or some sort of epiphany she's having, none of which has anything to do with the fact that she really wants to get back with you because she loves you and wants to be with you long-term. I said it once and I'll say it again. Her reaching out to you like this has little to nothing to do with you and everything to do with her. You are simply a means to an end. And as soon as she reaches that end, Dennis, she'll be done with you again. And by taking her back again, you're telling her that you have no other options, which makes you even less attractive to her by default. I know this isn't easy to hear, Dennis, and I know you probably still love her, all right? I've been there. But if you want to save yourself some time, some money, and your heart and some heartache, stay the fuck away from your ex-wife. She's done it. Listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Don't let her pull the wool over your eyes again, man. Now, the predictable cycle of a woman after separation, it's predictable because it's typical. She separates from her husband. She moves out or he moves out or whatever. As soon as she gets the keys to her new place or as soon as she starts staying at her friend's house because my husband beat me and I can't take it anymore, whatever bullshit lie she tells to her friends, she jumps on the carousel. She starts fucking any dude who gives her attention. She can be at the bar, she's giving out her number. At the grocery store, she's fucking the guy at the grocery store. It does not matter. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Recently divorced or recently separated women are some of the easiest targets out there. You show her even trace amounts of masculinity, dude, she is sucking your cock before she even knows what your name is. At some point, she gets tired of fucking different dudes, so she eventually tries to find a boyfriend. She starts fucking up. Listen, a woman can be fucking 8 guys. There's one guy that she really wants to be with, and that's the one guy that she'll try to consolidate on. This is the guy she cooks for. This is the guy she does laundry for. This is the guy she makes. This is the guy she brings lunch to him at work. This is the guy who gets the best treatment. All the other guys are still fucking her. But he's the guy she wants because she treats him the best. She swallows his loads, okay? She lets him fuck her in the ass. None of the other guys have the privilege that this guy does. Well, eventually, if a girl swallows enough of your loads, and if you go backdoor enough, and she shows above average culinary faculty, well, as a man, you say, well, hell, let's jump in. Let's do this head first. Well, at some point, for whatever reason, the relationship is going to go awry. And they break up. And it's usually the guy who ends up leaving. He finds out she cheats, whatever the case may be. Now she gets her heart broken. Okay? Now she's wondering, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? I was fucking this guy, I thought he liked me, and he dumped me or he cheated on me. Well, now she's looking for something familiar. Maybe her ex-boyfriend, maybe her ex-husband. She gets back with the ex to recover emotionally and a lot of times financially. When she's done, she leaves and gets right back on the carousel, rinse and repeat. I cannot be any more clear when I tell you about this, guys. And listen, when I went through my divorce with Darcy, after I physically separated with Darcy, yeah, I fucked her a few times. Okay, listen, I was in the same predicament. She didn't have a job. She didn't have a job when we separated. I kicked her out, and she went to her parents' house. Oh, Donovan, I need money, this and that and the other. I was still fucking her. Listen, we've all been in situations where we've had sex with our exes. Women have sex with their exes for many reasons, none of which have anything to do with her wanting to be with you in the long term. Especially if she's the one that leaves. No, there's no, well, I think I made a mistake, let me get back with you. No. There is nothing in her mind that is telling her that the right thing to do is to be with you long term. She is, like I said, she is merely using you as a stopgap. She needs sex, she needs attention, she needs the dick, she needs money. As a stopgap, she needs to bridge that gap. And when she becomes whole again after that breakup, she's out the door. And if you're that motherfucker who's going to bail her out every time, she's never going to have respect for you. And you're going to be heartbroken and broke. Never, listen, just like I said, what to do when your ex texts you. I forget what episode that was. I'm sure somebody in the chat will let me know. Never, ever, ever get back with an ex that you have made your main chick, and this includes marriage. The highest status she should have is a fucking side chick, and that's just all there is to it. All right. Yeah, Logic Wins says preach, Carlton. That's funny. I don't know if he's talking about me or not. Yes, Logic Reign Supreme says women are opportunists. Yes, absolutely. Samaj says side chicker. Yeah, totally agree. Excellent. Okay. All right, I'm going to introduce another segment here. Here we go. Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. This article is going to help you stay on your game and keep her in line. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. The game never ends. Ever. Alright guys, I'm going to call this Donovan's weekly booster shot. What this is I'm going to point out an article, a Red Pill article that I feel like men should read to stay on top of their game. Even myself, I'm a Red Pill, this or that or the other. I've got my own show, and, I've written for Return of Kings, and I know more than most, and, whatever. Listen, I'm a human being, and, every once in a while, I slip into bad habits, too. And I think it would behoove a man to, at least once a week, just refresh himself, just sort of hit the reset button on his red pill conditioning. And so that's what this segment's going to be about. So every week I'm going to introduce you guys to a red pill article that will definitely stay on your game. And the very first one is called The AWOLT Misconception, written by my friend I Am, who is the founder of illimitablemen.com. The AWOLT Misconception is easily one of the most brilliant red pill articles I have ever read, and that's why I've decided to lead off the show with it. So let's just go ahead and get to the highlights here. So the first paragraph that I want to point out says, quote, AWOLT does not claim that all women are the same. This is patently false and is such an absurd claim to make. Rather, AWOLT presupposes that women are collectively governed by a set of underlying principles that drives their behavior. It then alludes to the principles as well as their behaviors which result from said principles whenever they become relevant in discussion. What he's trying to say there, or I'll just put my spin on it, men who say not all women are like that are saying that not all females have a hard drive. That there are some that simply aren't females because they don't act on female impulses and behaviors. But given half the chance, guys, as we all know, most of them do. But all of them have these impulses. There's no doubt about it. Later on in the article, it says, quote, this does not mean that all women act on these behavioral drivers in the same way, or that said behaviors manifest to the same degree or frequency. The degree to which and the frequency of which AWOLT traits manifest certainly differs from woman to woman, but that is all that differs. The degree and frequency of behavior, not the type of behaviors. This is a brilliant passage because female behavior, guys, it differs in frequency and type, as we all know. A woman, you could have two women, right? One could have 10 relationships in 2 years. One could just have 2 relationships in 2 years. Both branch swing, but one did it more frequently than the other. That doesn't mean that the one who did it less frequently falls into the unicorn category. So that's another brilliant observation there by I Am. He goes on to say, quote, will hypergamy always manifest in one exact manner? No, of course not. It is not that all women are the same. It is more of a case of women all have the same instincts and are therefore predisposed to specific kinds of behavior. What he's addressing there, guys, are men and women who like to point out the outliers. They'll say things like, she's been in a relationship for 5 years and hasn't branch swung. See, not all women are like that. Guys, even if she did it right when breaking up with him, doesn't mean she won't do it a second or third time or sometime down the road. Just because a woman doesn't engage in typical female behavior one time and you happen to be there to see it, doesn't mean she's not, quote, like that. Another passage I wanted to point out, it says, you may know a woman who often takes responsibilities for her actions, but AWOLT claims women are notorious blame shifters. That specific woman thus defies AWOLT in this one aspect. This does not mean that she doesn't branch swing, isn't hypergamous, or doesn't friend zone men so she can have boyfriend level commitment without actually dating. This one woman who defies this one aspect of AWOLT does not disprove AWOLT. She is merely the exception to one aspect of it. Again, guys, you may know of a woman who doesn't put dudes in the friend zone, but that doesn't mean that the female operating system isn't still working in the background. Like this excerpt said, guys, she still hamsters. She's still looking to upgrade. She still has all the behaviors and thoughts that support the feminine imperative. Sure, she's the exception to this one rule this one time. You may have seen her do it, but at the end of the day, guys, she's still a fucking woman. He goes on, it says, quote, no matter how terrible women can be, men want to enjoy them in spite of themselves. That they're driven to, for men are the true romantics. Men may not love as easily as women, but when they do so more deeply. It is out of this desire to be happy with a woman that men will deny AWOLT or exempt a particular woman from it. This is why psychologically love is a particularly risky proposition for a man, for he is prone to lose his sanity in order to drink from the poisoned chalice of fantasy. I swear to God, man, this guy fucking mind fucks me every time. I'm telling you, I am as one of the most brilliant writers I've ever read. Guys, listen. I've always said that having one quality woman is much better than having 10 sluts. And most men would agree. A man's desire to love one woman and one woman only, it quite literally blinds him to all of her obvious red flags. Like a man might subconsciously think, okay, she's got 3 kids by 3 different men. She's told me she's cheated on both of her husbands. She said she had a drug problem a few years back and may or may not have done some porn while she was in college. But I'm tired of going to bars and clubs, and she seems ready to settle down. She cooks well, and she says she's looking for something long-term with me. Guys, this is how stupid we get when it comes to women, because no matter how bad they are, we want to see the best in them, and we justify we justify committing to them. This is how our male hamsters work. Females can talk all the shit about these angry guys in the manosphere. No, we want women to be quality women, but we're tired of women giving us the fucking finger despite our best efforts to help them. If they say fuck us, we say fuck you too. The last excerpt that I want to point out this is a good one. It says, quote, perhaps some men are bitter, but bitter rarely means wrong. If anything, bitterness is the unwelcome byproduct of a hard-learned lesson. It is neither unwarranted nor devoid of wisdom. This is not to encourage bitterness, but rather to give credit where credit is due. Guys, this is the most powerful passage. This is the most powerful passage in this column. Most of our haters out there like to throw around phrases like, those guys are just bitter, they're angry, they're jaded. And it's meant to shame us into not using past experiences and common sense when dealing with today's women. They'll say things like, well, I'm not your ex-girlfriend, or not every woman's gonna hurt you like she did, or my sister used to tell me you're dating the wrong women. Nah, man, all women aren't the same, but they all have the same operating system, and they've been proving it to us for decades. For us to just hit the reset button and not use what we've learned to mitigate, minimize, and sometimes even eliminate getting got by women would be fucking foolish. And they know it. But they would have us completely abandon all of our sensibilities because they know that if we don't, most women don't really stand a chance in terms of getting away with the shenanigans they've been getting away with all these years. Guys, follow IM. He is an excellent follow on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter at IllimitableMan. You can also subscribe to his website, illimitablemen.com. And be sure to check out the episodes that I've done with him. Let's see, where are those episodes? I think we've done like 5 or 6 shows together. And they can all be found on my website, thesharpreality.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, the Google Play app on your mobile device, and of course right here on YouTube. Guys, make sure, I'm trying to get the likes up as high as I possibly can. I'm looking to get 100 plus likes per episode. So be sure to hit the like button if you like what you're hearing, if you're getting something out of the show. And listen, if you like the channel, if you like the content, if you want to keep me around, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your uncles, cousins, brothers, fathers, grandfathers. There's a watermark, I think, that's going to be in the lower right-hand corner of the live ticker if you guys are watching this on delay. Just rest your cursor over it and it'll raise for you to subscribe. All right, let's see what we've got in chat here. Edward Easterling says, "This is great. You can't get this shit on TV." You're goddamn right you can't. And it's not because we can't. It's because they won't let this shit on TV. Hell no. Samaj says, "Oops, a married woman is texting me barbecue pics, though talking about I'll save you a plate." Oh, good God. Yeah, you need to go ahead and smash that, Samaj. Okay, very good. Man, you guys are lively. I like this. This is very, very good. Yeah, yo, I'm gonna tell you what, man. Listen, he is one crazy son of a bitch, and that's what makes him great. Listen, go back and listen to the episodes that I've done with him, man. The guy, he is a crazy son of a bitch. And go to illimitablemen.com and read his work. It's almost like I don't believe that the guy who writes for illimitablemen.com is the same guy who comes on with me once a month. It's like on his website he acts like the king, and then in person on my podcast he's the court jester. It's unfucking believable. This guy is absolutely nuts, man. Okay. All right, well, it is time to get to hate mail. As you guys know, a lot of us here in the Manosphere are not liked by a lot of people. Mostly women. A lot of men seem to hate us. So I'm gonna try one, and this probably won't be that hard because I get all kinds of hate mail. But hell, let's go ahead and get to the hate mail.
You're a fucking loser.
You live in your mom's basement.
You probably have a 2-inch cock.
Have you ever seen a pussy?
You're probably a virgin.
You sound like a white guy.
So that's a no for Netflix and chill?
Fuck you.
Alright everybody, it is time for hate mail. These are all the bitches and the simps, the neckbeards, the motherfuckers living in their mom's basement who cannot get laid and are mad at me because I can get laid and I'm letting y'all know how to get laid. Well, really, the reason they hate us is because we tell the fucking truth here. Let's not waste any time, let's get to it. Blessing Beyonce says, "You ain't even black. Just a racist white loser with no life who tries to destroy the black community with lies and manipulate them self-hating coons." Shaking my head. Yeah, typical black woman response when she gets hit where it hurts, which is the truth. I don't know the name of this person, but this person says, "I'm still waiting to hear the explanation for why the black male, white female dynamic does not work out. Is consistently messy and has such a high divorce rate, the highest of all interracial couplings, despite the platitudes also explain the high domestic violence rates. If you are trying to use any woman for sex, she should be hostile and give you attitude for her own protection. This was a very narcissistic rant, and you never mentioned what you as a man bring to the table beyond your ego. Black women have been involved in the, quote, process of supporting black men who didn't have wealth or power for thousands of years, last I checked, and much longer than white women. Time to ditch the white savior syndrome. If you marry the white woman, you also marry yourself to the white man. A disempowering move. You can't have one without the other." Oh my God. Sweetheart, you're going to choke on those long words. Listen, divorce rate is high regardless of race. Nor do you have the stats to back up your bullshit black male, white female privilege. Next, yeah, that was a narcissistic rant because I'm a narcissistic motherfucker, so you got me there. I can't deny that. But you and I both know that you drop your draws for me, and all I'd have to bring to the table is my ego, and we both know it. Now, as far as your amateur psychoanalysis of this, quote, dynamic, sweetheart, you are just parroting like every other black woman who got hurt by this. You don't know a damn thing about what you just said. Come back when you have ideas of your own. Stupid bitch. Sharika Knowles says, you couldn't get no black pussy unless you paid. Sharika, I wouldn't fuck the typical black woman if she paid me. Let's try that one again. Oh, Sharika again! She says, a fat black woman can fuck a fine, top-notch in shape man and have him eating her out. I've seen it. You saw it on porn, sweetheart. Nice try. Logic, this isn't Logic Wins. This is actually... She says, LOL, why not show yourself? Well, here I am, quote, Logic. And listen, use your real picture, sweetheart. Listen, nobody believes that's you, because if it was you, you wouldn't be commenting on a YouTube video that hurt your feelings. Go find Sharika and take a selfie or something. Oh, BCE says, death, black, niggers. Dude, you gotta come stronger than that. Like, seriously, the N-word is played out. Try again. My God. EM says, I like your stuff, but I always thought something was wrong with your ass. But yeah, this topic confirmed my suspicion. I will not stop tuning in, but man, I've had my first dose of white pussy this year, and I can't get over it. But then I realized it's just a fetish. You just have a fetish, man. I will never get up any woman for any woman. I don't know what he said there. Listen, yeah, listen, EM. A fetish is being into weird shit. Okay, being into pooping on people, golden showers, whips, chains, that's a fetish. Avoiding overweight, masculine women who don't give head, but somehow have 5 kids, isn't a fetish. It's common fucking sense. But listen, don't take my word for it. You can fuck all the black chicks you want. You can let me know how that works out for you. Like My Vibe says, so what makes this guy qualified to give such a heavy opinion? This dude already exposed himself during a podcast he had with O'Shea that says he has mum issues that contributed to him not liking black women. Clearly, this dude has very poor judgment of character. If he can't spot good character, is a whole race of black women. That didn't make any sense. Shake my head, everyone should take what this guy says with a grain of salt. This nigga's just trying to spread his own philosophies without tangible facts attached to them. Yes, Like My Vibe, my mother had a lot to do with my disdain for black women. Of course it did. I'm a human. I'm not some psychological anomaly who isn't affected by my upbringing. My makeup here is the same as everybody else's. Now, what makes me qualified is my experience with black chicks. And if you need tangible facts, just walk the fucking streets. You know I'm telling the truth. But go on and cape up for these bitches. You can bang them as much as you want. You can bang these bitches as much as you want, because there will be plenty of them. There'll be plenty of them out there for you. Ay, ay, ay. Vanessa CS says, she says, you're a demon. White man, come out from... Dude, what the fuck is with the spelling? Come out from hiding and show your face. Again, Vanessa CS, here's my face. Clearly not white. Obviously another black woman. Typical. Too Cool for School says, this bitch-ass motherfucker won't even show his black face. Why are we listening to this bullshit? Well, Too Cool for School, this is funny, man. This whole show your face response is nothing more than people looking for something to respond back with. They can't argue because they know that what I talk about is the truth. So they say shit like, show your face, because until now I hadn't. Well, here's my face. Now come with a strong opinion and own it instead of acting like a woman with no argument. Oh, Sharika Knowles is back. Yeah, right, nobody wants your ass. Oh, good God. Guys, listen. This is what black women do when you hit the bullseye. They say things like, we hate ourselves. We have no factual evidence. Nobody wants you. I wouldn't fuck you. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, sweetheart. In the future, if you don't want to tip your hand, stay away from the black woman playbook, all right? Listen, the shit you guys say in here tells everyone in here in no uncertain terms that what I have said has struck a nerve. And if it struck a nerve, you react in the way that you've reacted 2-3 times now. Just acknowledge the truth, make improvements to yourself, and move on. Calling me names I've been called most of my life isn't going to do a damn thing for either one of us, except for make me laugh. The fuck out of here with that, Sharika Knowles. There was a Beyonce and a Sharika Knowles. I don't know, these bitches are worshiping Beyonce Knowles. I have no idea why. Unfucking believable. So that was hate mail. I get a lot of those. I get a lot of that shit. I get a lot of that shit every fucking week. Unbelievable. All right, let's take a look and see what we've got here in the chat. Yeah, Logic Reign Supreme says black men need to build more wealth and avoid black women. Yeah, we need to listen. We need if we avoid black women, we will build more wealth. That's all there is to it. One of those haters said that black women have been behind black men for centuries and this and that and the other. Yeah, but y'all ain't behind us now, so fuck y'all. Listen, you weren't around when black women were behind black men. I don't want to hear that. A lot of low IQ people. Too cool for school is probably about 12. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Brian Shelby says these people can't spell and or proper grammar. Listen, man, I'm anything but the grammar police. I'm not perfect in that regard, but goddamn, if you're gonna send hate mail, I mean, make sure you're grammatically and numerically correct. Shit. Oh, you guys are. Oh, okay, very good. Lord Reign Supreme says Western women are not worth a damn. Yeah, that's what this is all about. No, there's no question about. Listen, that's what the entire manosphere is about in the first place, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of what it is. Guys, make sure you support the show. Like I said, you guys can do Patreon. I'm on Patreon now. I'll be on Facebook in a little while. Definitely bookmark the Amazon page in my, or the Amazon link in my homepage and do all your Amazon shopping through that link. You can also leave a little something in the tip jar at the bottom of my homepage. Any more comments? All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of TSR Live. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Keep that hate mail coming in. If you guys have any questions, comments, show ideas, or personal stories you'd like to share, go to my website, thesharpreality.com, or hit me at #TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you next time.